Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks for your time, everyone. My name's Alan. This is Amanda. We're both from John Wardle Architects. Today we're presenting our Geelong College Junior School project, which is a early learning centre as well as a prep through to Year 3 project. It's located in Newtown on the banks of the Barwon River, so it's at the very western edge of Geelong. And on the prep campus, the junior school, which is on the east side of the campus, shares campus with the middle school, which is to the northwest. This campus was established in 1958 and was designed around a Mockridge installed typical quad that you can see in the dark grey roof. Sorry. In some ways, this commission is a little bit different to a lot of our projects. We started a master plan 5 years ago, and it's been a privilege for our practice because John Wardle inherited the commission of college architect from Neil Everest, and we began this deep engagement with the client to really understand what they wanted out of the project. This is the site as inherited. You see this small cluster of pavilion-like buildings, and that, in the immediacy of the landscape, became, in our minds, the defining character of this place, and it's something we've tried to build into the new school in its expanded form. So in the new school, it comprises now 6 buildings, 3 refurbished, 2 new and 1 retained. And the main building is a courtyard building that encapsulates the prep through to 3.
This is an aerial view of the main building with its zigzagging form and the city of Geelong up in the top in the north. So the new school arrangement resembles a miniature town plan. Squares, plazas and landscaped courtyards are placed between the buildings. Some aspects of the project are made more public, others more protected, and some frame the landscape. At the front of the school, the multi-purpose hall and music rooms are located, and they allow the whole campus to be zoned after hours. The library and admin building become the gatehouse to the school. Year levels are sequentially zoned, creating communities, each with their own identity. And there are 4 early learning spaces and 12 classrooms that are grouped around shared spaces across 2 levels. The roof form of the hall is expressed as a large hat-shaped form. Its overhang gives direct access to Campbell House, which forms the front veranda for the school. So this is the collection and a meeting place for students and parents. Its form becomes a large welcome mat. Acting as a town hall, it frames the entry court and allows the whole school to gather together. The large sliding doors allow the courtyards to become stage and vice versa. So it's an open, shared and hard-working space, and the stage is orientated towards the existing classroom pavilions, which have been transformed into drama studios and music spaces. Together, the buildings operate as a performing arts hub and are the front face of the campus. So this is the informal west elevation that connects the heritage pavilions to the landscape, and a view approaching the early learning and junior school from the Campbell House front door. So a series of lily pads are located within the landscape, and they seek to sort of provide protection and also a sense of wayfinding from the front building to the early learning.
In many ways, I suppose, our courtyard type becomes another version of the Mockridge quad, the middle school. But in some ways, and with our journey with college, that became apparent quite quickly that was the best model because it protected from the westerlies. They're quite harsh in Geelong. We had some street noise to buffer, and it created this natural light court down the middle with some existing landscape. But what we tried to do was really tease out the rigour of the Mockridge work, and we looked to descale the project through the year levels by teasing out the form, and also that allowed better cross ventilation and natural light to each form. So in some ways it's much more informal, full of joy and wonder. And here a view of the dry creek bed that we left open as a part of our civil solution for the kids to ponder, negotiate. The timber post that you can see is the division between early learning and the primary year levels, and already we're starting to see negotiations between that.
Each of the learning communities are linked by continuous veranda, and they create outdoor spaces for learning, gathering and play. Within the early learning years, external bag areas and dining spaces foster a sense of year level belonging. And within the primary levels, teaching spaces and kitchens provide reference points. Vertical connections within the veranda are reinforced through voids and 2 staircases, one embedded within the plan and the other expressed as a clock tower.
We've embedded many passive principles that are really quite simple. So the former lends itself to a very thin plate with lots of natural light, good cross ventilation. We've also kept the external windows as a series of punched windows to reduce heat load. And where we have got larger openings within the courtyard, we've protected that with a deep veranda. So that combined allows us to have, a building that uses less energy, and during some points of the year, the small solar array allows the whole junior school to be powered.
This is a view of a 4-year-old atelier, and the ateliers are highly flexible spaces with furniture and objects that are primarily mobile and ad hoc. They're found, collected or constructed to inspire exploration, play and learning. Large sliding panels link the indoor and external spaces, and they provide free-flowing movement for students as they pursue their interests and build upon their ideas at their own pace. The exterior fabric resembles a defensive city wall. Its shifting form and colour in brickwork provides playful protection from the traffic noise to the east and the severe western winds. On the inside, this protective wall is softer and inhabited. A series of deep windows punctuate the wall. The inside face is deliberately deep so that it contains the shared equipment, art stores and learning resources that are used within each of the teaching spaces. Deep sills create nooks that are configured to the scale of the children. These are spots for discussion and reflection, or places for work and play.
Colours of the Barwon have been the starting point for the tonality and colour of the bricks that we've developed. In some ways it's like camouflage, but in many other ways it's also this emblematic motif for college to make it part of their own identity. And we've already had some early users suggesting that maybe we might have looked at their uniforms in some detail. In actual fact, he probably wasn't far off from the truth. John Wardle had this reference to the Fair Isle jumper as we were developing the patterns. We developed these glazes with Krauss bricks, specifically for this project, applying different colours, textures and glazes. And the outcome here is this knitted brick wall that starts to dissolve into the courtyard.
So the college has moved in and has experienced an almost uninterrupted start to the year this year, and we receive updates from the staff fairly regularly, and we particularly like the way that the students are starting to engage with some of these kind of scaled down nooks that we've created. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you.